Welcome back to another episode of My Kitchen with Jake. I'm your host, Chef Jake Osborne, and today we are in West Bloomfield High School, home of the Lakers, in their concession stand. And we're preparing for tonight's JV and varsity game. Most concession stands are hosted by families and volunteers and even students. Although they may not be food expertise specialists, they are still gonna conquer making the money for the night and getting everybody fed while watching the kids perform. So we have got a 3-compartment sink setup and a hand washing setup in this concessions area, and I want to kind of show you what this looks like. So we've got a sink here, a sink here, a sink here, and a sink here. That's a 4 in total, but compartment washing comes in 3s. We've got wash, rinse, and sanitize, and we're never utilizing our hand sink for any of that sanitation. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start with clean sinks. So I'm gonna use a sponge, and I'm gonna use some soap, and I'm gonna clean all of these sinks out, rinse them clean before we fill them with hot soapy water, hot rinse water, and hot sanitation water. So I'm gonna get at it. Now that we've got our sinks clean, we went ahead and filled them with at least 110-degree water. We filled this one with hot soapy water, hot rinse water, left our hand washing sink blank, and our final sink will be our sanitizer water. When you're sanitizing, you can use 2 different solutions. One's gonna be chlorine-based and the other ammonia. We're gonna use test strips to decide whether we are fully constituted or not. We're going to be using bleach because it's the most economical and is the most preventative against norovirus. We're going to be going as close to 100 parts per million as we possibly can. So I went ahead and I pulled 2 of these test strips out. I've never filled this little sink before, but we're probably going to go under a cap full. I'm just going to do a teeny tiny little blurp. We'll add a little water to stir it up. And then I'm going to take these test strips and I'm going to dunk them into our solution. As it darkens, you'll be able to tell what parts per million it is. I'm not sure if it's showing up on camera quite correctly, but I'm finding it pretty close to the 100 parts per million, which is exactly what I was going for. If it was closer to the 200, it may be too strong. Chlorine does evaporate, so after a little while, you may be closer to that solution, but you should check this often, especially if you're doing lots of dishes or you're going for a long period of time. You can use this same technique for a standard Sani bucket that can be mobile throughout an establishment. We'd use this always gets cleaned through the 3-compartment washing just the same, filled with hot water, and then the same dilution of bleach with a clean rag. And then it's ready to go. And I think now that we've made it through all 3 stations of 3-compartment ware washing, I think you're set to rock and roll with dishes in the concession stand.